Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. I want to start out today with saying it's July 4th, so it's going to be a little bit of a short podcast today because, well, it's July 3rd, so it's July 4th weekend, got a lot going on, and I do want to promote something that's going on July 4th. So on Space Tomatoes channel, I believe, let me double check actually real quick because I was saying I believe, and I'd rather not believe, I'd rather just know the answer. When the event is going to happen exactly. 2 p.m. UTC. So I was right, 1400 UTC, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I think I can actually show it to you this way. Tonk fights for personal rights. Morphologist is going to be there. Raleigh is going to be there. Gabby just backed out because she has a concert. Farrister, Croncy, Space Tomato, me, and Astropub are all going to be there. We're just going to do tonk fights for personal rights. So that's what it is. It's definitely a lot to do with what's going on in the United States. A lot of us are dealing with some of the issues that are happening here, and we wanted to support Our Justice, the Advanced Reproductive Freedom fundraising event. So that's what we're going to be doing. I don't typically want to get political. We talked a little bit about my thoughts before the podcast today. And yeah, we're going to leave it at that. So if you guys want to support an event like that, you could do so. If you disagree with that and you feel that what other people think is wrong, that's the beauty of being in a free country, right? And you could feel the way you could feel, and I could feel the way I could feel, and it's awesome. Either way. And I know we're dealing with major issues like life here, but I think we can respect each other all the way from it. So that's what's nice about being in a country like this is you're not going to you can get criticized for your ideas, but you're not going to get crucified for them. But I think a lot of people try to do that, and we don't need to do that. So let's jump in. Let's talk about today's event, or today's podcast. Wipes, events, exploits in the future. So I want to talk about just basically the recent events that have been going on in Star Citizen the last week. We've basically been told we're getting a wipe. We have Jumptown and Ninetales happening. Exploits could be the reason why, and 317.2 is really late. What's going to happen with 318? So for me, I really want to talk quick about the wipe. I'm super happy with the wipe. It makes total sense. The database has been a complete disaster. There's been money exploits all over the place. There's the game is not the game. This is not what Star Citizen will be. I think there's going to be a lot more wipes coming in the future. Okay? And it is what it is. I think they're going to be coming possibly in 318, possibly in 4.0, because of just the sheer nature of how complex everything that could be coming in is. So I sort of expect the game to be way more painful and way more difficult to deal with. Events-wise, I don't think we should be doing Jumptown right now. I think we should have saved Jumptown till after the wipe, because it's a great opportunity to make money, and the wipe was not caused by us, the players. It was caused by whatever infrastructure issues they have themselves and whatever issues they created themselves. And I figure that a perfect solution to that problem would be, hey, here's this event that's really easy to make money, and they are going to run it again. Okay, I think they didn't tell us that originally, but when people got upset, they may have changed their tune, or they had already had a plan the whole time. But if they did, why wouldn't they have just told us? I don't know. Okay? But I just look at it as it's a great opportunity to make some money. Tons of servers will be going, tons of conga lines, tons of situation where orgs will take them down and make a bunch of money and use that to build up their org again. It'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be really good. I feel like I've played Jumptown for the last, I don't know, probably 12 hours in the last 2 days, and it's not the same. It just doesn't feel the same. It's just got a different air to it. And And you would think people not caring, it would matter, but it doesn't. You thought it would like make for better fights, but people caring is what makes for the good fights. And nobody cares because everybody knows there's going to be a wipe. Exploits is going to be touching on one of the callers we're going to have today. And then the future that I want to talk about is 3.17.2 is mega late. They're talking about it maybe going live mid-July. That's mega late, okay? 2 weeks late, maybe more. And I want to know what you guys think about that. I don't care. And the reason I don't care is because I would rather have the game functioning better than be on time. I would rather have it function better than be on time. So the issue is that 3.18 will get delayed because of that. Most likely. Maybe. Because we're in this weird situation where we're going to have it live and then we're going to have the PTU that goes forever. So like in Star Citizen's history, a late 3.17.2 would have a major effect on 3.18. What's kind of cool about now and why I don't care, and I think that this is a really good situation to take your time and make sure it's good, is that 3.18 is going to sit on the PTU forever. We've already created that expectation that it's going to be on the PTU forever. So I don't care. Take your time, make sure the game that I'm going to play forever is playable, and then take that PTU dumpster fire that will be 3.18 and leave it there for a while, and it should be pretty good. A pretty good situation for all. If you want to check out 3.18, Cargo Refactor, Persistence, what that's going to be like, we can. If we want to play and make some level of progression in the game, we can. And that's how I look at it. With that said, with a very long intro that got even more political than I wanted to, let's jump in and get our first callers here. And our first caller is going to be a first-time caller, I believe. His name is Jolly Wars. Jolly, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello.
All right. Sorry for the delay, dude. But
Okay.
welcome.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well,
How's it going?
pretty good. How about yourself? Like,
Not bad. Let me turn you up a little bit.
oh, I can talk louder or turn myself up with a mixer if need be.
No, you're good. I got the volume. So,
All right.
what do you want to talk about in particular? Obviously, there's quite a few topics on the docket today.
Honestly, like the wipe and the events. That's what I really have opinions about.
Okay.
And the future as well. But the future stuff's all in a perfect world.
Sure.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
But you know, the wipe, I just think the events timeline for it is just out of place. Like, we're doing Jump Town, and then here's your wipe. And why is there not something to help us get back into the swing of things after this wipe?
Well, they did say that they're going to do Jump Town again, and there's the Siege of Orison. But
okay,
I don't know how much the Siege of Orison is going to make in compare. Like, Jump Town's a moneymaker.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're wiping, doesn't it wipe all your whole entire inventory? So if Siege of Orison is an FPS based thing, and you just wiped me, so I have maybe 20,000 credits to start out with. I don't remember how much you start out with. That's enough to buy me armor, a gun, and some ammo. But I'm more than likely gonna die and spend all my money on, armor, ammo to probably not make even. But I mean, it's something to do, FPS base, I guess.
So here's how I think of that. Would you be happy if they waited a day or two and then ran the Siege of Orison? That would give you an opportunity. Like, the ability to make money in this game, even with the Aurora, is very easy, especially when you're talking about FPS weapons, armor, ammo. If they wait a day or two and then run the event, that gives you plenty of time to get ready.
Yeah, or if
would you be okay with that?
Oh yeah, that honestly would, in my eyes, be something smart to do, considering you can get, if you only play for like 2 hours, you can get at least 100K with just the Aurora, which that's all I have, and I've done that in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But I also feel like if they're gonna do Siege of Orison, just don't wipe until after they do it, and then you have the experience, and then you can on a later date do it again after a wipe, so people know what to expect and how much money it could make if they've,
Okay, well, I just can't agree with that one, because the whole thing is there's going to be another wipe. None of this matters. So it just comes down to, are you going to be able to have fun? And if I'm one of the people that really needs the feel of progression to enjoy the game, and it sounds like you are too, and but I think I'm able to like suspend that for things like these and just enjoy the event for what it is at the time and just go for it. Like I didn't care too much about Xenothreat or whatever, right? Same kind of feel I had. Is it didn't really matter to me. That was another way to make an insane amount of money. You didn't even have to be at the event and you got paid. All you had to do was accept the mission or whatever. And yeah, I just I don't think there's anything wrong with running these things. Not often, because I think that there is something with running them often. I think the second time Jumptown was around, it was more boring than the first time. I think that they made some shitty choices with it too, but I just think your perspective of run it now while I have inventory, when you can easily get that inventory in a couple of hours for what you would need there, versus run it after the wipe. I don't know. I just have a hard time with that one personally.
I'm just going based on, my performance for my computer, because Orison sucks for me. Like being down there in the gas giant, it just sucks. It runs horribly. So I figured I would lose everything. I would probably, if I only was spending using 20,000 credits, I would probably use 15 of that on everything with how poorly it runs for me.
Yeah.
But that's my performance on my computer. Your performance could be way different, which it is, since you're streaming this and having good quality.
Yeah Just buy a 3090, right? Like it's obviously not that easy. Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but then if that's the case, I hate to say this because I hate when people say this shit to me, is this event is at this spot and it's gonna suck for you no matter what. Right?
Yeah.
It just might not be the event for you. But it does sound like that they're gonna do Jumptown also. So I would love it if they alternated like days. But I still think we need to get to the point where we're the ones who trigger events like these, and they're not used as like holiday events, essentially, which is how they're currently being used as, like an April Fool's event or a Christmas event or the holiday time of year event, that kind of stuff is what it feels like now, instead of the world feeling alive.
I mean, if there was a smaller one we could set off, that would be cool,
Yeah.
Like you could still have these, what they're doing, Christmas, April Fools, 4th of July, Thanksgiving events where it's massive amounts of money, but you could also, like, say, shut down the comm system, go into a Ninetales base, and just overload a drug thing, and for the next 40 minutes to an hour, it's pumping junk out for you, and you can go sell that. However,
by the way, have you tried the Siege of Orison event? I see people typing in chat and they made a good point. Have you tried it yet?
I have not, because I don't think I have access to it.
Well, no. There was a PTU like a month ago that you could have tested it in.
Oh.
Anybody could have. The actual event is really far from Morrison. So your frame rate might be decent.
Okay.
So I would give it a shot as far as that goes for sure. I totally forgot about that, and thank you, Tracer in chat. What about? I don't know. What else were we talking about? You said you wanted to talk about specific things, and there was one other one. I can't remember what it was now.
Future of the game, just
sure,
all of that. I'm the type of person where I would rather the game work the way they intended. I don't like when game companies release a game and it's like, oh, here it's air quote early access, so yeah, expect to be buggy. I understand I bought this as an alpha game. I understand that they're testing and it's going to be buggy. But when you're going to release features and you promise it works, they should work.
When have they ever promised anything has worked? Listen, I am not the CIG protector, but when have they ever promised anything would work?
I may just misspoke, and I'm just saying, you know,
sure.
They like, oh, here, this is what we worked on. It's in the game. Boom. Then it should work to a certain degree, not just be like, I guess it'll work 20% of the time.
You're with me more in the idea of the current experience is unacceptable and it should just be better.
I've had enjoyment playing the game. I don't play much. I do enjoy watching Star Citizen content, but playing it, I usually play by myself, and it's not fun when you play by yourself.
It is boring when you play by yourself.
But like the stuff you can do in the game, it looks visually amazing. But it's you just gotta have a group of people sometimes.
True. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about in particular?
No, that's pretty
it sounded like you were at the end, so I figured if there was anything that was on your mind. You're in the US, right?
Be like, yeah, I am. Eastern Standard Time.
I was just gonna say happy 4th of July.
Oh yeah, you too, man. The only other thing is like them delaying stuff. Honestly, with the past 2 years, I feel like that's everything is inevitable for stuff being delayed because of COVID having to get caught up on stuff.
Yeah, I mean they're still trying to get back to the office and everything. But all right, bro.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll talk to you, Jolly. Thanks for calling, man. Thanks for starting the show off.
No worries. You have a good rest of your show, rest of your day, all that.
You too. Happy holiday. Bye-bye. Our next caller is Johnny. Johnny, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine. What's up?
Awesome. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. So we were chatting a little bit about exploits, but is there anything you want to start with, or do you want to jump right into that?
Well, I'd like to start with my 3-part apology for that little video I made saying SaltEMike.
Oh, dude, you're fine. You're fine. I don't care.
That was just a joke, and I wasn't even going to make it a video, but that actually kind of leads into some of the stuff I want to talk about here. The other one, so exploits, I don't want to spend too much time on because I maybe was overstating my case a little bit. There's my reaction and emotional reaction to people doing money exploit bugs and then getting to store it in a converting it into a ship and then storing it past a wipe where people might get their money wiped, but then they don't get their ships wiped. I get emotionally really angry about that. So I probably overstated my case there a little bit on how much CIG would influence their decision on it. I believe there's very much an influence on it. And even if it's a very small bit, I learned of that exploit with the Starfarer from a guy in-game using the VoIP told me. I immediately started recording, right? So I'm like, what the? And then my reaction is like, dude, are you serious? Like, I didn't say that to him because I just want to grab the data and then send it over. But like, you're ruining it for everyone that legitimately grind these things out. You're going to force them into a situation where this few bad apples are going to force a wipe in this and everyone else gets punished that actually did it legit. So I get really angry at those type of situations.
There
Beyond
has
that,
been,
I don't think.
I would just jump in and said there's been so many money exploits over the years, and they've never wiped because of them.
Which is fair, and that's why I'm saying I probably overstated my case there on how much it influences CIG. It would influence me very, very strongly, though.
Yeah, so, I mean, listen, dude, you and I are the same. Like, ships are one of the best opportunities to show, show off or whatever. Like, that's. I'm sorry, that's part of MMOs. It just is. Like, look at this cool shit I got. And when I went down to Jump Town today, there was 2 890 jumps there. That's cool, right? You see those. You don't see those every day, and when you do,
it is cool.
It always sucks to be like, well, did they buy it with a credit card or did they buy it with real in-game credits? It's hard. You can't tell. But yeah, I think the sense of achievement goes away when it's exploited to get to it, obviously. But I clearly think that the reason why there's an actual wipe this time is all the bugs rather than the exploits.
Technical.
Yeah.
I agree. And they're completely pivoting their database too, right? Their back end, the PES. So last time I was on, I didn't realize how big of an impact that was. I went and read up on the patch notes, and now I understand the scope of it and why you were stressing it so big. I don't follow the development of the features that well for myself. I'm looking more at the customer journey side and how my gameplay experience is, etc. So, like, going back to the progression side, for me with ships, earning them in game is big, and then learning how to fly them well in game is really big. I love the events for this. So yesterday I had like literally the best day ever. Moist Noodle showed up on my channel. I was streaming with the boys. We were out doing Jump Town. We just started, like, me starting. It was all like, I didn't really plan it, and neither did the guys. We just kind of formed, and then he jumped on my channel. He was impressed with our teamwork, so he came and joined us, and we had an incredibly good day. Like, it was so nice because I've only flown with Moist 3 times. There was the very first one he came on my channel, and I completely panicked and forgot even how to QT out Cuddy Black. I was so embarrassed, and because it was just like, you guys are stars in our community, right?
Shut up.
Like, you are though, dude. I'm a fan, right? So that relationship is weird, right? So even the first calling, I wanted to thank him for calling in. First time I called into SaltEMike 2, I'm a little nervous, right? Keep calling in, right, and keep giving your opinions, and it's really great. It's a good thing to see. Anyway, the second time I flew with him, I was a better pilot at that point, but still pretty crappy. Like, I really didn't understand the flight model. I think I was on the T-1600s only then, and I was really just learning on my curves. It was a Xeno threat, and right, so the audience, his viewers could come in. So I jumped in, and I brought my Mustang Delta, because I know he likes the Delta too. Like, we're both fans of it. And in the fight, I got some really good rocket hits off of it, and he complimented me on it. He said, "That was really good rocket hit, Johnny." That felt wonderful, right? That was amazing, right? I progressed in this game to the point where I could fly with someone, and he saw me as potentially useful. Really cool. The last 9 months to a year, I have really dived into like how to really pilot, and this links to the ship progression too, because I've done it in the Warlock mainly. Next patch, I'm going to pick a different ship and try to master that ship, right? Probably going to be Talon, because it's a size 1 and you can spawn in on pads, and I like
which is cool.
Living
now,
out of my bed, and like I really like doing that. I've been living on the Daymar Cave, right? I've been staying there. I've been interacting with people. I love it, right? And I won't be there right now because JT is like the ultimate version of that for me. Ninetales, I'm still not a huge fan of it. I think it's just, I don't know what it's missing.
A lot, a whole hell
no
of a lot.
interactions really happen though. I guess is what my problem
it's
with
garbage.
It. It's like, Xeno, you at least end up on the Rex potentially together and interact, and then in the big scrum battles, you're interacting with players like they slide in, right? So Xeno felt really good to have a PvP element in, even though it wasn't necessarily built in. It really, I felt like the journey wise was really good for the players. Like I met so many great players on the
You want to pause there for a sec? How much is like Siege of Orisen's going to be sick for this?
I don't know anything about it. No spoilers. No spoilers, man. I'm waiting for live.
It's FPS. It's at Orison.
I know.
So
and that's all I know about it. But
and there's no ships involved. So the whole thing is, I'm not spoiling anything for you. It's just
I know.
Everybody's going to be in one place, but not only are they going to be in one place, but they're going to be within talking range of each other.
I am
much
so
more
excited.
often, right? So it should be really great.
I'm so jazzed for that one for that reason too. Like in the caves that I've been doing the cave runs, I'm I lost my footage from my last one where I just called a guy. So I showed up, I called him, he answered. My stance was pretty much if he answers a phone call, I won't kill him. And he was like, oh yeah, I know, I always take a call, man. And I was like, oh, that's cool, thanks for answering, because I was going to come down and like attack you guys if you didn't. He's like, oh, thanks. And I'm here showing a buddy this game. I'm like, oh, I'm really glad you answered, right? And we just had a little chat, but I lost a recording of it. And then I escorted him out and did some like flying around them and stuff like that. And it was really fun. I'm trying to kind of show that there's a whole different set of interactions you can do, and kind of some of the challenges with it and some of the fun with it. And but if you put the effort in and you actually do interact with them and you try to be genuine about it, like really fun and good things can come out of it. They can also be like that one guy got 350K a pad night in Dolovine from. Like he came back in a Scorpion, we fought and stuff. Like
Johnny, every time you come on the show, you don't talk about the topic and you talk about your cave exploits.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Going back to wipes then. So this is why I like wipes. We get the reprogression. I can start on another ship and move from there. Events, I love them because they push the dynamic interactions that we have between players. Really love that about Xeno. Thanks for. I'm terrible for tangents. I'm very sorry.
You're good. You're fine. It's content. Exploits, it's content.
Clearly, you know my stance on exploits. Like your third monitor, no one's impressed. No one's impressed, right? Like it's just. Forget about it, boys. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to see it. Banned. Gone. The future, I guess that's kind of where I was going. Can we stop on
exploits for a second, though?
Yeah.
Being in an alpha, I want to see all the exploits all day. And this is when it comes to exploits, that's one of the situations where I don't want to say I don't care, but I think people using them and abusing them is something I want to see. I don't want to see people going, ooh, I found an exploit. I want to hide it.
Yes.
Right? I want them to just use it and put it out in the open and everybody use it until they fix it. And
that is the nuanced viewpoint.
Yeah, like I want it to be abused, so CIG takes it and prioritizes it, because guess what CIG does horrendously is prioritization. It bounces all over the place. It's all these other things, and it's up to us to go, yo, do something about this shit. Like, talk about an exploit that's been in the game forever, the call bug, where you call and you get the marker for somebody.
Yeah,
that's been in there. Me, Burks, and a few other people were talking about that last night. With there was a change to the terms of service, and if you use exploits to ruin the time for others, there could be bans, whatever, all sorts of things. But how many times have we said that this is a problem and they haven't done anything about it? So that's where I come with you and like the whole money exploit. They don't give a shit about that. They're not looking at the way we make money now and their economy, because this isn't the economy we intend to be playing.
What you just said there is basically I would say is a very nuanced view of that, and is a really good way to look at it. My position is kind of the same. It's the one like where what you just talked about, the term of
yours is very emotional though, obviously.
It is emotional. And I'm being honest with that too. I have an emotional kick to it. I've always hated in gaming throughout the gaming industry. I think it's one of the biggest factors that's ruining gaming, right? And not just specifically in SC, but all over the place. And the problem doesn't have an easy solve. So yeah, the only solve we have right now is doing what you just said. Don't try to hide it. Be upfront and be honest with it. Help the devs build value by being a good actor on the network and submitting things. Don't be sneaking like, haha, I can make all this money.
Yeah, fuck it. Abuse it, but then just tell them about it. Abuse it for a while and then let everybody know.
Yeah, sure, it's fine. Like, if we're gonna get wipes, that's fine in this set. As long as you're upfront about it. But if you're hiding it, yeah, then you've crossed that line.
Yeah.
Issue with the terms, though, is that can be a very subjective analysis. So
of course, it is very vague.
Yeah, because then it's, well, what if I don't like that person? Am I going to interpret what they're doing as this, even though they did submit the bug, right? Yeah. I hope they navigate that one well. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
So exploits, I do agree with you in the sense that we should all have a responsibility to try to identify them and submit them and find them, because the end goal is that live we'll have a minimal amount of set that will potentially ruin us. Or ruin our gameplay experience from the get-go. You look at games that have died because of that. One of my favorites, Microsoft Allegiance, died because of that. there was an exploit in it with the voice command controls that you could purposely crash everyone's client, right? So you'd be in a big game, you'd be winning, and someone just go pop, 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 and you get a crash desktop on the whole team. Kill the game overnight, right? It's just the entire player base just went, love that game. So yeah, I guess, yeah, that's like exploits are very emotionally wrapped up in me. I'm a long time gamer. I really love the gaming. I love the skill level of it too. Like skill-based gaming is what I want. I love DayZ for that. I love, even though I know I'll never be the best, but I get to potentially go up against them and maybe get a little bit better. And for Star Citizen, going back to wipes in the future and that side of it, the future for me is my skill progression, not so much my reputation progression or, you know, the events and mission progression and stuff like that. It's really how much better can I get at flying this ship, and what other ships can I learn? Because flying big ships are a completely different ball of wax now than flying a fighter, and they're very distinct and they require very different skill sets. And they're going to get more and more complicated as we go along. I love that game play. Like Barotrauma, I love playing that because it got really nuanced.
It's a great game.
Crazy level stuff. Amazing game, right? Played that from the early alpha to now. I haven't. Next patch, I think I'll go back and do the campaign. I think they should be finished up with it then to actually do it. I'd love to jump on it if you stream it ever. I'd jump on it. It doesn't.
Yeah, I have before. It's really good.
Yeah, it's super fun. So that, like, I love that, and I'm hoping, you know, when we get to that 3-shard environment, and that's the future I want to see, where we're all out there. Like, now's the time to lay that groundwork of getting into how do I interact with people in this game? How do I coordinate? So Siege of Orison sounds like it's gonna be great for that, because I am jazzed for it, right? Like, I'm
worried.
I love talking to people.
Have you seen 317.2 at all?
I am first wave, so I did log on for 2 seconds.
Bro, the fucking teleporting with people is bad. And this event is an FPS event. NPCs are teleporting, players are teleporting. It is not good. And
yeah, I'm worried about that.
I'm worried about it.
Yeah. I was surprised that they were going to do a very heavy AI one, and unless they have some sort of like thing in their back pocket, we don't really realize that will turn up the performance of the AI. I thought that was a little sketch, because it's looking good when it works, but it doesn't really work that reliably. Like in the bunkers and stuff like that, and in Xeno when they were like, you know, holding their guns around corners and shooting at you and doing all that shit, that's really cool. But like then they teleport and warp, and they're like, oh, okay, great.
Nope.
Even the stuff I've been doing, right? Like I see it all over the place. FPF is way too rough. Air combat is pretty solid, right? The space combat's pretty solid right now. Hit reg issue on the hitbox issue is kind of the biggest pain point, and then needing to balance it out a bit better and start really fleshing out the features. But it's pretty good all around. Still room for improvement, but it's good. But FPS is trash, right? It is absolute trash.
What do you think about?
It feels good when it works.
What do you think about what I was talking about? Like when I meant the future, I was more talking about what I discussed in my little monologue at the beginning, which was, well, 317.2 is really late. It's just branched off of 317. Although it's kind of chock full of content in a lot of ways. How will that, like, we don't know how that'll affect 318, but do we care? And I didn't really care, because I know 318 is going to be on the PTU for a long time. What do you think about that?
No, I'm with you on that. The development cycle is always murky. I'd rather them take extra time. But what's going to be interesting about past that, too, is we're getting the last of the pillars done, so we should start seeing stuff start to snowball after this.
It's not the last of the pillars at all, but we're getting some key pillars.
Well, that's what they said in their letter, right? And I kind of do agree with them on the stance that, like, their core fundamentals. If they
what happened to orgs? What happened to the economy, dynamic economy, orgs 2.0? Where's all that? Those were pillars. I'm saying
fundamentals, right? All these things, those pillars have to be built before those things can be layered on top, right? So they get server meshing done, they get their database, their backend database working the way
these
they
come before
they get
those.
Their cloud infrastructure working properly, so that then they can build the next layer on top of it, right?
Yeah.
7 layers of the OSI model, boys.
Yeah.
Open service.
I think the economy is absolutely essential for the game to snowball.
100%. And if Tony can't deliver, that's the last killer one. I'm 100% with you on that. If Tony can't deliver, it's over.
Yeah.
100%. Because that's what we're all waiting for.
Or it's back to the drawing. It's not over. It's back to the drawing board and player run economy, and then it would be the greatest.
I think the dream is over though. Then at that point.
Nah, fuck that. No, it's not. No, it's not. Player run economy. You don't think they could pivot and do that fairly quickly?
I'm not against that.
I would
Eve's
love
done it
that.
well.
I almost hope he
World War
fails.
II Online did player-run organizational structure of the Axis and Allies size really well, which had a whole bunch of stuff attached to it too. It was incredible, right? Like that was all player-driven. So yeah, if the systems are done right, yeah, okay.
Somebody in
I can
chat
see
just
that.
said hard disagree. Economy is not that important. I don't know how.
Oh.
I don't know how to respond to that.
I don't want to play in another dead world.
I don't know how to respond to the economy.
I don't wanna
Is
play in a
what
dead world.
drives every action in the game. The amount of money you get paid for a mission, how you spend the money that you made for that mission, gold sinks, everything.
All the opportunities that can happen in game organically through just a dynamic market system in the background, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, a market opportunity to move, do a new cargo route, right? It's a little convoluted. It's going to hit some spaces, and then the other side are like, woo, there could be some value coming through there, right?
Yeah.
Because of these market stuff, and we're paying attention, and our team is working together to do this because it's not a solo game.
Like, what do you do? Just take screenshots? How could that's
Exactly.
the only
It's a
way
dead
you
world.
can't like the economy? I don't get it. If you're only taking screenshots, that's the only way.
I don't want to play another dead world. That's why I would say that the dream would be done. But maybe when you say the player run side of it, filling in the role, that's interesting and could be done. And then, yeah, I think the dream would continue on then until at least the tech could develop where we could continually offload the need for us to fill in the gaps, right? Until we get to that layer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
maybe
actually
this
a really good point.
maybe this dude misunderstood a little bit what we mean by an economy, which is just, I think the economy is what drives player action.
I agree. That's the same thing. It's going to absolutely drive player interaction because if we don't, we just statically sit around doing nothing like we do now.
Yeah.
You can't find anyone because there's
He
no
talked about World of
interaction
Warcraft.
points.
World of Warcraft had an economy that drives player action. There's silver,
Holy
there's
shit,
gold, there's rewards for everything, right? Like
The auction house, like drove
Auction,
people
yeah.
to actually do stuff in game and compete against each other for the resources that they can. It was huge. Like that was
Yeah.
one of the key pieces of WoW was that they had the auction house to actually build a real functional economy, and that
Yeah.
translated to real world value, right? Like you then
Yep.
had people converting US dollars into virtualized. Like the first NFTs basically were WoW gold.
Yeah, I would just assume that there's some slight miscommunication.
Well, maybe we're just better than them.
He
I
thought
don't
we
know.
were talking about Quanta and how important
I'm
Quanta
just-
is. And that's why
I think
I don't.
Quanta is massively important, though. I think the virtualized simulated AI is genius. So virtualizing it and taking it architecturally wise the same way we do with server hardware, right? Physical boxes then got virtualized on top of it. That means that he might be able to deliver on it. He's the first guy that I've ever been like, shit, I think this guy can actually deliver on this. The tech stack's there. If they can build it out and they can build a foundation for Tony to build his thing on, it looks like it works from the demoing stuff that they've done, like their simulation of the simulation that they showed. So, I don't know. I'm very hopeful, though, man. I've been very positive for a while now.
It sounds cool, and I'm super skeptical because don't you feel like you're just going to be living in the world but not really a part of it, and it's in most games you're kind of the driver where someone else is in this case. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not sure if I'm going to like this. I'm nervous about it.
Either.
Yeah.
I am too. But I would say that might be on the content team.
It's a cool idea.
To spin our narratives into the system that Tony's created. Right? So Tony's creating an infrastructure for billions of virtualized people to live lives and do their things without making it, computationally unattainable, right? You have to have the giantest supercomputers in the world and the best, etc. So he's figured out kind of like, we can do this. We know how to kind of do this. So we'll see if we can pull it off.
Nobody knows what the end game is. Nobody knows what we're even going to be fighting over. No one knows what we're going to be doing. Nobody knows what we're going to be grinding towards. Nobody knows anything about this fucking game. So we could sit here all day on podcasts like these and talk about like we think we know what we're talking about. We don't know shit. We don't know shit.
Man, this is why I love you, dude. This is why I love you.
It's true.
And remember that time I came on and said that you would make a great politician? Your intro, the way you presented it, I'm not going to talk to any all about the subject other than this, validated that point for me so much. And the fact that you don't want to do it, right? And you would never want to do that role. I would 100% want to put you in that role. You're competent, you're empathetic, You can see multiple point of views while maintaining your own separately. It's really impressive, Mikey. Anyway.
So you're saying I would be a bad politician?
Yeah, well, yeah, in today's society, the rest of the
Okay.
politicians would consider you bad. The people would probably consider you good.
Yeah.
And that would probably be a compliment.
Try to be fair. It's not easy. You
And
try to be as fair
objective
as you
and
can.
reasonable, and like assume people are actually trying to do good things and not automatically assume that their intent is malicious. Anyway, I don't want to get into politics too much.
Yeah,
It's,
of course not.
But
yeah,
I
I
just
just-
really appreciate the way you handle it on your channel, and it makes me want to come back to your channel.
Sure.
So thank you.
Sure. I just, I'm super nervous because I started realizing maybe about a year ago or 2 years ago what I really, because I maybe like was clouded by the way the game looks or what I think in my head the game might be. And I was like, this is the game this is the game I really want. And then I started jumping into other games that had fully player run economies, like Albion Online, like Eco, like other, like even in many ways, DayZ has a player run economy, right? Like way more than it sounds like this game may. And it's like,
It does, yeah, 100%.
Right?
Like especially one like DayZ Underground that I played on, that was a heavy, hardcore role-playing experience, right? Like, yeah, 100%. I was a mechanic guy. My economic role was building cars.
I realized that I don't know if I'm going to like this game.
I don't know either, Mike. That's a really good like subject matter to bring up, because like I see the dynamic events driving us towards this wonderful narrative moving along through the verse, and if you aren't there for it, you miss it. You can never go back and do it again, type thing. Eventually, like some things I think will end up being unique and big pivotal moments.
They better be.
And I want to be part of that storyline. And if that's what they deliver on for me, that I can be part of that storyline in my little minor role, but yet still feel like me and my crew had an impact, they got me locked in for a long time. Now, if they can't deliver on that, that's my fear too.
But this is how I think it could be so easy to tweak. Well, not so. There's nothing easy. I hate saying the word easy because it's clear nothing's easy with this company or this game. The thing that I think I would like, let's take Jumptown for example, and Maze. Just change Maze to anything, any other item, any other material, and you're saying, hey, here is something that you want, but the reason you want it is what matters to me. What the hell do I do with Maze? We just flew it somewhere and we sold it. It actually felt kind of at the end. But what if that was an item or a material that you needed to build something with, to create
or your
something
supply
with,
chain,
to use, right? What if it was for, I don't know, like
without
some
an
special
economy,
component that you
can't
put in
have
your shield that makes your shield stronger,
Exactly.
right? It could be anything. That is what I feel is missing from Star Citizen. That is what I feel is the economy for me. It's the creating value for the things in the world and creating value, essentially crafting, yes, creating value for the things in the world and creating
supply chain. It's supply chain management is what you're talking about here. That's what Tony showed us,
need
right?
to do things for your own use, and it doesn't touch Alpha UEC at all, although the usefulness of the item and the rarity of the thing is what creates the Alpha UEC value, and it's us that determines it, not fucking Tony Z. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, exactly. I love that, actually, what you're talking about, because that actually aligns with, like, Tony showed us his, here's my economic model rate, here's my supply
Tony Z
chain.
needs to be the big picture part, but we need to have a part as well. Otherwise, I don't think.
So that's where I'm getting at, though, right? Like where you're going with is we want to have impact on that supply chain that the quantum can't do.
Yeah.
And if we do, that creates a very unique role for us with inside of this economy, this virtualized economy, that then will hopefully make it feel really meaningful for us. Like I love the idea of, you and your crew going out there and finding resources and adding to the supply chain.
Can I make a better med pen?
Better,
right? It's something as simple as that.
Something unique.
They make med pens. I maybe can make a better one.
Because
they
you
make
took the time
standard
to find
ammo.
those resources.
Maybe we can make better ammo. I don't know. Maybe there can be a combination of the two.
I
don't
like
know.
it though. That's what I'd want to see, is that we can have that impact on, maybe it is specialized ammo, or maybe it's just like the availability of certain gear at all, right? Like you can't even get these P6s at all. They're just not going to show up until you start putting these resources into it. And then you have the opportunity to go out and collect them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not necessarily that they'll show up in your factory, but you're doing all these supply chain stuff, and there's some missions with it, and it takes you through the funnel, and then you don't need to do the missions the second time you want to do it, because you kind of know the route, and you just do it anyway. The missions are there to teach you how to interact with it, potentially. That type of stuff, 100%. I want us to have a dynamic impact on it. I like the fact that they're building this very big one, so we can't do like EVE has problems with their economy because it's 2-player run, right? Like, so small groups can massively have a giant impact on the market. And so you can do a lot of like financial, like what we would consider things that you would go to jail for in the real world, and SEC would be right up your butt. You can do it in crypto, and not for very long, crypto and EVE, and so places like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's a big one, man. That's where I'm hoping that they can draw us into it, provide us with an opportunity to really impact this universe, shape it like the
He said Valheim style crafting.
I don't know Valheim. I never played it.
It's just taking one item and putting some items together, turning them into something else. So general
implementation wise, man. Yeah, general crafting. But that with stuff that would not be available to the Quantum, I think is a great idea. And so then we can have an impact, especially when it comes to stuff where we may need to stockpile for a war or a giant battle, and they're calling out, we need all this stuff to make size 9 torpedoes because we're gonna get the Van Duler coming in. We got to gear up.
I don't want to mine. I don't want to cargo haul. I don't want to salvage for NPCs. Right?
And then,
there needs to be reasons to do it for players.
Exactly, and the other players would then be coming to you for those torpedoes.
Yeah.
For that battle, right? That would be great. I mean, you can put your decal on and someone gets close enough and they see a SaltEMike on the side of the torpedo, right? Because that would be insane. That's going too far, but I would love that. It's very World War II, right? Like, that'd be so cool. And that's a uniqueness that I think both me and you love and want to see. And if it doesn't get there,
I think a lot of people do, but I think a lot of people don't. Anytime I've mentioned that, they're like, don't put crafting in my simulator. Bam. So, I don't know.
That doesn't even make sense to me. The simulator is doing crafting out in the background. Why can't we?
Yeah. Exactly.
The simulation is literally doing that. That's what they showed us. Like, the NPCs are taking the ore there, and if they don't take the ore there, they're not building the goddamn engines, and you won't be able to buy those quantum drives.
Yeah.
So the Van Duel doing raids throughout the system will affect our ability to purchase equipment potentially. All that stuff is there with Tony's thing. Then it's up to the content teams to actually deliver on that content, right? That's not really on Tony.
You have to build on top of it.
Infrastructure. It's all layers. Boys.
Yeah. All right, Johnny. We'll let you go. That was fun.
Thanks, man. I love you guys.
Love you too. Enjoy your caves.
I will.
All right, bro. Bye.
Cheers.
All right, our last caller is Evil Ducky. What's up, Dougie?
Oh, hello there.
You were on hold for a while. My apologies.
That's fine.
Johnny does that. So
That's
what's
cool.
new?
So this is actually my first time talking with you on this stuff.
On the podcast, but obviously we're in an org together, Evil Ducky and I, so we've spoken before.
Yeah. So going on your discussions here, wipes, events, exploits in the future. When did you start playing? I can't remember.
2013, 2014.
Yeah, that's the same time that I started. So I don't know about you, but I'm kind of immune to wipes just because of the way patches used to be way back.
It was every patch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Every patch. Like that broke my everything about like caring about wipes now.
I care about them because we went a year without one, and it shows that we can make progression, right? Like, we're in the org together, right? Where would we be without the ability to have a decent amount of time? Where would our motivation be, right? Because I just talked to Johnny about what motivates me in games, and we don't have that yet. So the only thing that can motivate me now is progressing towards buying certain ships for other people in the org or reputation. but mostly just earning money to gain new experiences or whatever.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And Johnny actually made an amazing point when he talked to you about this. The one thing that they cannot wipe almost is your experience in the game. Because like we've been playing since 2013, like how much if we were to come in now, like you see new people coming in all the time, they're clueless. Like even with our wipe, we know where to go, what to do, what things we need for earning money, reputation, and stuff like that.
I will earn the money back faster each one, for sure.
Exactly. So even with the wipe, it might set us back like 2 or 3 days, roughly.
Yep.
So
like if we really wanted to, as the org, everything that we have can be made back in.
Yeah, exactly.
4 days.
But let's say a new player comes in and tries to gain the same amount of stuff that we will with our org. How long will that take them? Like a long time, because they got to figure out everything.
Yeah.
So
and they don't have all the group, but yeah.
Exactly. And so the wipes, like I understand, because they have a lot of new technology coming in on the back end. I mean, we have PEZ coming. So that's probably part of the reason why they have to wipe the database.
Yeah.
You asked why our bot ships aren't wiped very often. I think they're on a separate database that doesn't change as often as the persistent one. Like imagine buying stuff, selling stuff, losing stuff, gaining stuff, all of this stuff, writing, delete, and moving around the database is probably why it gets messed up. And they're probably still trying to figure that out. I know it's been 10 years, but yeah, it's just a lot going on the persistent database opposed to our store-bought database.
Yeah,
and
way more, right? So that's why that happens. But yes, people were really upset.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand they're being upset, but I think the next few patches are going to have wipes just because of the technology coming in.
Yeah, like I feel like with 3.18, I don't see how we can't, but maybe because the thing about our database is I think they've been making it this whole time, and it's possible we're already using it. It's just a matter of the way they restore it or whatever with certain servers. I don't know, but I don't know if we get one with 3.18, but I don't see how we don't with 4.0.
Yeah, no, I see one coming for 3.18 as well. I see one coming.
I think it's possible
4.0.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the cargo refactor is going to change everything. I mean, they probably
have
will
to change the number that's in your wallet and the things that you purchased. So, right? Like the 3 things that get wiped are your reputation, what you purchased in game, and your wallet. So
correct.
Why do you feel that would come? And yeah, go ahead.
So this one, I think they wipe correctly. They wipe the wallet and items because of the stuff that you talked about, exploits,
bugs, issues,
the money
everything.
glitches, all that stuff. 3.18, I think we're going to have a probably reputation wipe and item wipe, but not money wipe, depending on if there's any glitches with some of the events or anything going on.
Yep.
And then I think 4.0 will have all of it wiped, and then they'll have we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I would like that to happen personally. I think that needs to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think it just makes sense. It's like starting starting the whole game over again.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. They got a whole new system. They're gonna have a whole new reputation. They're gonna have whole new items. They're gonna have the whole new back end, hopefully, the whole persistent streaming or server meshing with it. So it'll be interesting.
Yep.
It's going to be definitely an interesting next few weeks, next few patches to see what happens. And I know that the community is going to be in an uproar, but at the same time, we're going to have that knowledge and experience that can't be wiped. So I'm not too worried about wipes here coming up. I'm also like you. I have 2 accounts. Mm-hmm. So I have my main account, and then I have my 0 to hero account.
Yep.
So when I play my normal account, when I get wiped, I'm just like, whatever. You know, I got all my ships, and I've lost all the joy on that account for like earning anything. It's just I have the stuff that I need. I don't really need money. I can go off and do missions. I can go help people, but you know, my other account, I just have the rock. I live on Loreville. I have like 10,000 credits, and then I go off and try to mine off of Loreville. So like that other account, I got up to like 250,000 credits, and now it's going to go back to 0. And I'm like, no, I still don't have a ship. But I mean, I have the loaner for the rock, but I pretend that doesn't exist.
Wait, so you have an account without a starting ship, without a ship at all, and you're able to play?
my second account just has a rock. That's
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, well, I bought the Aurora and I upgraded to a rock.
So it comes with a game package.
It comes with a game pack. I mean, I get a loaner ship, and I mean, that's cheating.
Yeah.
And that doesn't exist. But, you know, it just has a rock. And I picked Loreville because you can go out there without a spacesuit. Like, I think I dropped my spacesuit and lose everything, basically. So that
What's
account,
the loaner ship that comes with it?
An Aurora.
Okay. That's cool.
But yeah, no, I on that account, like I feel the pain of people that like are just starting. They started saving money. They finally got their ship, and then now they're going to lose it. Yeah. But like, so I understand their points and their pains and stuff that are coming from them.
Yeah, I just think, they're bummed out that the progression that they made isn't going to stick around, and I that's validated. I think it's totally okay to feel that way. It's just the one thing that I am seeing is like, they shouldn't wipe the money, and it's like, but dude, there's people's accounts that are bugged, and it's the only way to fix it. So, like, just having to explain that to people that just don't get it, you know? Yeah. It's it can be frustrating, so I'm sure that's how they feel about explaining literally everything to us. So I kind of get it. Exactly. And then, like I said, I mean, part of my non-frustration comes from the fact that back in the day, we got wiped every patch regardless. Like, we even got wiped at little patches. Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, for sure. But event-wise, I think they just, like you said, they just threw up these events just to give some people to do over the holiday weekend. Jump Town, I was kind of hoping more for people not going for conga lines, because that's what they mostly did the last time. They would go there just to fight each other, and that's why I was kind of hoping with our org we were going to do that, and it turned out to be a flop, kind of. Yeah, because there's nobody to fight. Like, the thing is you have to fight over that thing. So no matter what, the conga line has to exist. It's just a matter of how you break it up, when you break it up, and so on. Like, this morning was amazing. Just to let everybody know, is I found a server where an org filled the entire airlock of Jumptown with boxes, and we're inviting people down and giving them like 10 or 15 and then sending them on their way. And they had it like not covered very well. So we came in and we took it. Well, we tried to, but by the time... So we came in with the C2, landed some ground vehicles, drove in, and by the time we got there, somebody dropped an A2 on them, and that was it. So then we came in, and we ended up with all the boxes. And I think we made... I think it was like 2.5 million. Something in that range. Yeah, I came in at the end there, so I missed all the fun part of it. I just caught the part where you guys collected everything and flew off. And then it was a little more fun than that. But... There's more action US evening than there is at this time of day, unfortunately. But there's not much incentive to grab the boxes, because the only incentive is money. And that's why I was like pointing out before with Johnny, like, how nice would it be if you swap Maze out with something that you absolutely needed or gave you an advantage in any way. You know, it'd be cool. No. I'm hoping for that in events later on in the future, but I just don't think they have anything that's cool and advantage right now. No. There's not... What could you do now? I can't even think of anything. Yeah, they don't have anything in game that's special, that's earnable only in game. So no matter what they do for an event, like, you can't really gain anything from it. Nope. But there's no special material you can put armor on your ship with. There's no armors that are special. They're all the same. They just look different.
Exactly. Even the ship component stuff, there's still a lot of them that are just the same, like down the line.
Game's very cookie cutter right now.
Exactly. So I think they're going to be great events in the future when they add that stuff. But right now, we're gaining the experience of how to do it. So I'm not too mad about the events that they're running. But what I think they should have done is the 3.17.2 patch, instead of running Jumptown and Siege of Origin, they should have run Xenothreat then Siege of Origin, because Xenothreat could have been the lead up to the other one.
True. From a lore standpoint, yeah, they could have been the end of Xenothreat finally.
Correct. Yeah, Xenothreat could have been coming into the system. They could have, or better yet, they should have done the lockdown first, then the attack on Jericho, and then the attack on Orson. That would have been a great progression.
Yeah, for sure.
But the other two first would have given people money to buy their weapons and armors, or go off and find that stuff for the last event on Orson, which, Johnny was saying, like, a lot of people aren't going to have enough money to do some of this stuff unless you're an org or you're an old-time backer that had a lot of money stored up, or you bought your own credits. You're going to have the money to do that right away. But those two events would have given people the time and setup to be prepared for Orson's attack.
The Orson one, I think a lot of people aren't really quite understanding either, is it's not a situation where you're PvPing. It should be very much PvE, which means you should be in a group, and which means when you get shot, you go down.
Yeah.
You don't die. You go down, your buddy's clear, they bring you back up. You might have an injury, it might get a little more difficult at the end, but it shouldn't be how it's done in a PvP scenario, where you might shoot a guy and like instantly kill him so you can loot the body, right? Is don't let him backspace. No way. He can't. We're not gonna lose this, so I don't think it's gonna be that case.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be that case, but there's definitely gonna be, from the play test, when I read about it and heard about it in the PTUs in the past, there were a lot of people doing PvP stuff over the PvE, so it's going to be there. And that's going to make it interesting to see how that happens. But like I said, I think those other two events should have run first to give people that build up to the actual Orson event.
Oh, okay. There's somebody in chat right now that asked a question that is the exact misunderstanding of everything that's going on, right? He said, be nice. Like, maybe we need to wipe ships for testing reasons, but can I get my Alpha UEC credited back? LOL, I guess more-ish keep track of it when all is supposed to be testing. I mean, that's the whole problem, is that every time you log in, every time the game checks, there's issues with them remembering what you had. So you just like randomly lose money for no reason on your account right now. So would you rather have it doing that, or would you rather have them fix it, wipe it, and then hopefully that not happen again? It probably will happen again. But they can't credit you your Alpha UEC back, because they can't go down the list of every single person who's ever played Star Citizen and go, yep, you know what, this is what they had, here you go. Because it's all supposed to be automated, and the automation or whatever's happening doesn't work. It broke. So they have to redo it. They don't want to be mean. They'd like to be nice, but they can't be nice because it's not working. It's not because they don't want to be nice,
Yeah.
People are equating to this to they're doing it because they want us to buy ships and not ships in game. Bullshit. Because this is way more than in-game credits. That's a problem.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. And it's another point that you made, like they can't go through and say this guy has a legit amount, this guy doesn't, this person does.
Exactly.
Because people are giving money out left and right.
Yep. Yeah, it was beyond manual repair. They have to do it. They have to do what they do, what they're going to do. It is what it is. Hopefully they don't have to do it again in the near future. But like Ducky said earlier, I agree, it could very well happen in 3.18, and it will almost definitely happen again in 4.0. So enjoy the game, earn whatever you earn, play the events, play other video games, let it wipe, come back, do it again, and then eventually there won't be one. But every wipe should be, for me, this is how I look at it, and you can look at it how any way you want, is another opportunity to prepare for whenever this game goes live. Whatever state the game goes live in, it'll go live eventually, or it'll die. It's one of the two. So I'd rather believe that it's going to go live at some point, and I'll prepare for that moment whenever it happens.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I think that's probably a good spot to leave us. And we are right about an hour. Yeah, 106. So, all right, Ducky, thanks for popping on, man.
All right. Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. Let me talk for once. I'll try to join more often, though.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll do some more org stuff this week, hopefully.
I'm actually off tomorrow, so I'm down.
All right. Well, I'm doing that charity thing, so that won't be
right.
an org thing, and then after that, it's like spending time with family. But yeah, bummer. But hopefully the other guys have some time off, so try and hook up with them.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
All right, bro. Bye-bye. And guys, that'll do it for another podcast. I want to apologize. The intro probably should have just Space Tomatoes here right now. I probably should have just promoted the thing and left it. I think I went a little too long. So most people, if you made it this far, I apologize. I'm tired. It's not a great podcast. I'm a little rambly, a little off topic we got, and I didn't bring people back on topic. We'll be better next podcast, but I was playing Jumptown late last night, so it is what it is. I'm not every day is going to be your best day, but you could try to improve from your last day. So if you like the podcast, if you enjoyed it, what do you mean what happened? If you like the podcast, if you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, comment down below. If you're watching on Twitch and you missed some of it, it'll be up on YouTube later today. And yeah, I'll see you guys all next time. I'm sure next time we'll talk about our experiences in 3.17 too a lot more. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.